Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
So we got some information. We broke this story a couple hours ago. Diddy is behind bars, but he is enrolled in 2 classes in jail. A class for drug abuse and one for domestic violence.
Domestic violence. These are programs that are offered by the federal government in the prison system for inmates, and he is enrolled in both of these programs. He's also, we're told, in therapy separate from those 2 programs. And all of these things that he's doing, typically for one reason, to look good for the judge.
Well, it's important because sentencing comes up October 3rd. And Diddy, look, everything that I know tells me that he will get between 1 and 2 years. And I think it's going to be closer to 1. Prosecution is asking for 4. That's just not going to happen for a Mann Act violation. So if that's right, look, he wants to get the lowest he can get. And I think it's going to be between that 1 and 2 range. To get the 1, I think he's got to show the judge that he is taking his misdeeds seriously.
Right. And by the way, we know that even when the judge said that he was not going to let him out on bail pending sentencing, one of the things he mentioned was his violence. You know, we've seen his violence.
Exactly.
So he knows that this is an issue for the judge.
And the defense conceded it.
Right. So that's something he definitely has to address. And that's what he's doing with this program.
I mean, you know, Charles, he doesn't have to address it, but he is addressing it. And, you know, this might help him with regards to his sentence. Maybe the judge might sentence him to lesser time because he's working on himself.
But Jamie, you know what the complication here is that he's been found not guilty on the charges that relate to drug use and domestic violence. That there was no conviction using force, fraud, or coercion in these 3 ways, and drugs. The Cassie video was off the table. The only thing he's been convicted of is taking a prostitute across state lines for the purpose of prostitution.
But can't the judge consider all of the testimony in the that was presented at the trial?
But the defense is going to say he was found not guilty on those things. So it's really kind of an interesting...
There's that, but there's another side of this. And Jamie, you've been working on this story for 5 days now to lock this down. But what was there was one key word, one of the sources you spoke to. You remember what that word was?
Yeah, redemption.
Yeah, because that's the other part of this, that this is Diddy looking at my life after prison, because now that he knows he's not going to be locked away for decades, not going to be locked away for the rest of his life.
He could get out this year with time served.
Wants to be able to do business, and in order to do that, for people to work with him, even in the entertainment field, he's got to show that he is changing, or he's addressing the things that everyone saw come out in this trial.
Right.
So this is about, part of this is also about what is my life after prison and how can I still be a successful businessman.
And you know, it's interesting because we've talked about this before, that lawyers who represent people in positions like Diddy now, they have two responsibilities. You know, get them acquitted if you can, and what is their life going to look like after they get out?
Right.
And so there are 2 components, and this kind of serves
both of those.
Both of those, yeah.
Hi, my name is Alicia, and I am from New Jersey. And I actually think it's a positive thing that Diddy is taking this step towards redemption and going to therapy. And I really feel that everybody is worthy of that, but he really has to show it. And I mean, I hope that he is taking this seriously, because I think the public is having a hard time processing and really believing that he's really going to change in probably this short amount of time. So I really hope that he says what he's going to do. And I think that the rest of the public can agree that it's going to be difficult trying to understand what accountability and redemption look like in this case.
Yeah. Well, we will see.
Yes,
but
it's going to be very complicated.
Again, it's possible he's going to get out by Thanksgiving.
I don't know. I've heard you say that. I gotta disagree. There's just
Well, I'll tell you why. If he gets a year, which is possible, he will have served close to a year. Plus, he gets certain credits. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it's possible.
The judge
is going to give him a
when the
year.
prosecutors are asking for 4, and I agree with you that it's not going to be that.
Let me tell you why.
But if the judge were to give him a sentence that lets him walk out before the end of the year,
let me tell you why. Because the judge asked prosecutors, give me a case. So this is what the back and forth now. Give me a case where a John was prosecuted under the Mann Act for this. It's usually the prostitute.
Right.
And so now the prosecution is looking for a case. I'm told cases like this are really hard to find. And if the judge can't find any, there's something called selective prosecution, which the defense could argue, and it's going to reduce the sentence. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Okay, we're going to move on.
Yes, to a big-time business deal made in the background of the biggest wedding that's been talked about all year, the Bezos-Sanchez wedding. Well, as it turns out, there was one of the guests that had some people kind of going, what's Sydney Sweeney doing there? How are they friends? Well, part of their friendship has to do with a huge business deal for Sydney Sweeney to launch her own lingerie line.
And it looks like Lauren Sanchez is the puppet master.
Yes, is the linchpin, if you will, in this deal, because what we found out is that Lauren's been doing some dealing with her friends, right? So this goes back sometime, I believe, sometime last year, but it's been a while. But Lauren is friends with a guy named Ben Schwerin.
Warning, we're about to use French.
Yes, there's French coming here. She's friends with Ben Schwerin. Ben Schwerin is a partner in an investment firm called Coutu.
Coutu.
God bless you. And Coutu has just invested, got a $1 billion investment from
Jeff Bezos
and
Mike Dell from Dell Computers.
Right.
So here's the thing. So why did this Coutu is a well-funded company. So all of a sudden, Jeff Bezos and Mike Dell give them $1 billion. And then all of a sudden, Coutu decides they're going to get into the lingerie business.
Which is not something they've done previously.
They've never done anything in beauty or fashion. So suddenly, they're getting involved in the lingerie business with Sydney Sweeney.
And
Sydney Sweeney being a friend of Ben's.
Friend of Ben's, and then a friend of Lauren's.
Through Ben.
And then Lauren makes a connection to Jeff. Jeff calls Michael. Boom, $1 billion goes into Coutu.
And all of a sudden, Coutu's in the lingerie business. So Lauren is kind of in the middle of all of this, and it looks like she was the deal maker.
Right.
And got her husband and Mike Dell to put. Now, the question is, how much money
is going
into Sydney's venture? Whoa.
I can't think it's $1 billion.
Well, why would they give $1 billion all of a sudden?
There could be other things that they're investing in. But can we go back to the photo we showed from the Vanity, not that one.
That's what you wanted to see.
No, the Vanity Fair. Because remember, we thought this was...
Why did we cut Jessica Alba out of this?
Jessica Alba and Sofia Vergara are on the right, but they're not part of the business deal.
There you go.
But this was at the Vanity Fair Oscars after party. And we thought that this was awkward and that
look at
Jeff and Lauren were just sort of hanging out with the most beautiful, famous people in the party. Turns out we didn't know at that point that Lauren and Sydney were already friends.
And if you look at the placement there, it kind of makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, but even kind of like you guys mentioned, a lot of people were wondering, how do they know each other? Usually at your wedding, you're inviting really close friends, longtime friends or family, and people could not figure out what the connection was with them. So much so that people were trying to connect the dots that Sydney was signed on for this movie called Split Fiction, and then in June it was announced that Amazon, MGM was going to be picking up the movie. So people were like, oh, they're kind of working to, everyone was just trying to make the connection, but now it makes more sense.
Hey, it's India coming to you from Tampa, and I just want to say that Sydney seems like an up-and-coming girl boss to watch. I am really impressed. She knows how to sell herself. Obviously, she knows how to get into the right rooms with the right people, and when she puts on a masterclass, I will be tuning in. Congratulations to you, Sydney. And of course, Lauren likes her lingerie. We learned that at the inauguration.
That's funny. And the idea of calling Sydney Sweeney an up-and-coming girl, she's kind of there now.
Yes.
But
well, up and coming in the business world, clearly.
with $1 billion behind her.
Yeah.
Okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, a very serious case in Atlanta, one that concerns Beyonce deeply because her unreleased music is now out there in the wild after her choreographer suffers a break-in, a car break-in. You're gonna hear his frantic call to police. You gotta protect Beyonce's music. Beyonce is very concerned, I would say, with some Atlanta police activity going on right now because the police are searching for someone who has come into the possession of unreleased Beyonce music.
This is a crazy
I say
story.
come into the possession. They stole it.
They stole it. Well, they didn't steal it directly. So here's the deal. They're in Atlanta right now.
Beyonce's on her tour.
On her tour.
Yeah.
And there's a choreographer who
Had some laptops in his car.
left it in his car. And that's a lot of people do that.
Sure.
The car got broken into and they took the laptops.
Oh my God.
So that happens to people, you know it. It's what was in the laptop that
And
made this guy just implode.
He is absolutely aware of what was on those, at least one of the laptops, and immediately thought, I got to get the police in on this. He called 911.
There was unreleased music from Beyonce in this laptop.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's why you'll hear his tone here with the 911 operator.
Someone broke into my car. I was parked at in a garage while I went to a restaurant, but they stole like my computers and everything, but it has a tracker on it. It's on Find My iPhone. They have my computers, and it's really, really important information in there. Like I work with someone who's like of a high status, and I really need the
what's
my
your
computer
name?
and everything.
Oh my God.
Someone of a high status.
Can you imagine the panic he is feeling and the guilt? It's like, oh no, what do I do?
But why didn't he say Beyonce?
He didn't want, he's probably aware that the 911 calls are recorded, obviously, and was trying to, I don't know, maybe in hopes it wouldn't get out.
Maybe it shouldn't be this way, but it would have gotten a much faster response had he said Beyonce.
Yeah, probably.
Seems kind of weird to me. One, why was this person just walking around with Beyonce's unreleased music, her set list, her plans for the
think
cowboy
about
car? And you're just carrying it in a Jeep and you go park in a random parking garage with so many people? Why not take the, why if I
Because
have
he's
that?
not thinking
But you also
about
got to remember, he's the choreographer. So the reason he has the unreleased music is he's probably already doing choreography for
That's fine, but
one of those songs.
if you are working for Beyonce, you never leave anything like that in a parking garage. You take that bag with you. You never take your eyes off
Okay,
of
well,
it.
he did. He did. It's, he didn't do it to be.
He's
didn't do it
probably gonna
intentionally.
lose
Commit
his
a
job
crime.
now. He probably
No,
doesn't work
he's
for Beyonce
not.
anymore. No, literally, the Beehive is saying, "How could you allow this to happen?" All I can hear in the back of
Okay,
my head
stop
is,
it.
All right, the
somebody's
Beehive.
about
Stop
to lose
it.
their job.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, the Beehive.
So,
come on.
so
Guy
here's
didn't do it on purpose.
here's why I'm puzzled. They have now got a suspect. Presumably, somebody was.
We
they
were
got a
told
surveillance
that
camera.
there were surveillance cameras in the garage.
Probably got a license plate.
They got the suspect. They probably got.
They got a
license
name.
plate, and
They
they
got
have
a
a
name.
name,
But
and they have issued an arrest warrant.
What
for
I
this
do not
person.
understand is if it had Find My computer on it, why haven't they found the computer if that thing was on? I don't understand.
Just because you have that setting on, if your computer is turned off, if your phone is turned off, if you turn that setting off, then it's useless. It's not going to work. So this person that had the computer could have easily powered down the computer. Therefore, that setting is no longer going to work.
The best case scenario for Beyonce and the choreographer is that this person just wiped the drives, right? Not knowing what's
Not
on it.
knowing there's a
Just-
Beyonce.
Just wiped it and said they're going to try to resell computers, right? So they just wiped the drives.
Oh,
that
and
would
they-
be the best case scenario.
And they sell a hot computer,
They
but they
sell a hot
never turn
computer,
it
but-
on so that the
there's-
Find My is not on.
Right.
Got it. That.
But who knows what's going to happen?
Who knows if he's already sold it? And if he sold it, who owns it?
There's a pawn shop somewhere with.
It's like you
with
got Beyonce music. This is like finding the Mona Lisa at a garage sale.
I'm Aisha from Atlanta, Georgia, and at first I thought this was an inside job until I realized that this supports the theory whereas Atlanta is not a real place.
What? Atlanta's not a real place?
You know, that's what they say about Atlanta. Everything happens in Atlanta, something so odd every single day.
No, it doesn't compare to Florida.
Yeah, really.
I mean, come on.
Not a bit. Okay, we got to move on. Oh, yes. I love this story.
To Ray Romano doing
white guy stuff.
Okay, fine, you could say that. I wasn't going to put it that way, but Ray Romano clearly has an affinity for one of Eminem's biggest, most iconic hit, and he performed it. Did he?
I thought he did great. I
don't know if he did great, but I will say this. It's clear he really does love the music and really got into his performance of Lose Yourself.
So this was a karaoke night at the Tahoe Celebrity Golf Tournament that they had over the weekend.
Right.
And I got to say, the hat's kind of swag, and he knew all the words.
You know what's not swag? You saying swag.
Mom's are sweaty, these weak thumbs are heavy. His vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, he's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. Both his mouth, the words won't come out. He's choking out, everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, the time's up. Oh, how? Snap back to reality. Ooh, here goes gravity. Ooh, here goes gravity. Choke, he's on there, but he won't.
He's not bad.
It's getting better as he goes along. At the beginning, he was just a little off.
Well,
the timing was a little off.
Getting warmed up.
Yeah, but I agree. Like as he got warmed up, he was.
I like this.
More on the beat.
He sounds like he's yelling at his barista at Starbucks. Is what it sounds like.
Oh, come on.
But you know, he's having a good time. I mean, he's enjoying himself, and it's funny because Ray Romano is so known for his voice and his like kind of slow way of speaking and his flow. So for him to rap was kind of a brave thing, I guess, but he was having fun.
I thought it was better than just having fun. I thought it was.
It's not the worst thing I've seen from someone wearing a New York Jets jersey or shirt.
It's pretty bad when he turns his hat sideways, though.
Come on, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I mean, I guess if there's anything wider than Ray Romano doing Eminem karaoke at a golf event, it's you saying swag earlier. So
yeah,
we've hit peak caucasity.
Swag.
Yeah. Please stop.
Hi, Shelby from San Jose, California. And that's actually my video. I was at the event and it makes me smile every time I watch it. I mean, I'm not surprised that he won the contest, the karaoke contest. Having your sons up there as your backup, as your special guest. And then, like you guys mentioned earlier, not even needing to read the lyrics.
Wait a minute, I didn't know what you just said. He won?
Yeah, he won the karaoke contest. Shelby, I got one very important question I have to ask you. Did you see Ray drinking anything before he got on stage?
No.
Okay. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know which way that cuts.
You were there and you saw it. So did people love it?
Oh, they loved it. It was like fan voted, essentially based off of the cheers from the crowd. So he was up against the Kelsey brothers. He was up against Larry the Cable Guy, Charles Barkley, and they liked Ray the best.
Wow.
What did the Kelsey brothers sing?
They did the Bob Seger song.
Old Time Rock and Roll?
Yeah, that one. And I think they kind of got disqualified because Travis won it last year.
That's right. I do remember.
Were they any good? Were they any good?
Oh yeah. They were good. High energy as always. They even had a little choreographed dance in it.
I gotta tell you that tournament they put on every year is huge. They get great.
That sounds like
big names and big fun in the casino.
Wow, good for Ray, though. Okay, we got to take a break.
All right, when we come back, another football player besides the Kelsey brothers, Jay Cutler, is on vacation over in Africa, and he is stirring up controversy because he is showing off photos from that vacation, photos of his big game hunting trip, and a lot of people upset with what he's doing and what he's hunting over there.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Justin Timberlake made Portland kids' dream come true by joining a bike bus ride. And they always listen to Justin Timberlake.
Cry me a river when they fall.
It's TMZ.
Well, Jay Cutler is doing what Jay Cutler does. The former NFL star and ex-husband of Kristen Cavallari is an avid hunter and makes no secret of it. But his latest trip, because of images like that, are really upsetting some people. And there are also a lot of people coming to his defense. He is on vacation in South Africa and is on a safari, big game hunting trip. This is not a case of poaching. We got to be fair to Jay here. This is not him out, on his own hunting endangered animals. It is an organized trip with a hunting company, and he is posting photos of his conquests, I think he would say. But it is really upsetting a lot of people who just see,
including me,
this is a sable antelope. It is not an endangered animal.
So look, but
it is a beautiful animal.
The way the story goes is that the locals will get the meat from the animal, so it's not just
those are the
pure
rules,
sport,
and
which is part of the rules.
Right.
I just have a fundamental problem hunting for sport, because it's sort of like cover to say, okay, the locals get the meat, because the locals could do that if they wanted to, and they probably do. So this is giving people from the outside the ability to go and enjoy a sport of killing an animal like that, knowing that you have the cover that the meat might go to will go to the locals.
And I believe some of the money that the gaming companies, the hunting companies collect has to go back into conservation.
And it's all cover. And that's the problem I have with it. And I know a lot of people disagree.
I think the devil's advocate of that is that if they don't have these kind of, I guess, safe places where they're not killing endangered animals or anything like that, will they go out and just do it on their own?
Will it encourage poaching?
Well, how about just making that illegal? How about just making killing animals for sport illegal? How about that?
But it's not going to stop people from doing whether it's illegal or not.
Enforce the law. Enforce the law. I mean, you can't kill humans, for sport.
Whoa. What?
Well, no. I'm saying animals. It's like, okay, to kill an animal like that for sport.
We have hunting and fishing seasons in this country.
I get it. And by the way,
there are no regulations about what you do with the meat in most states.
And I am a hypocrite that I have tried, being a vegetarian and all, and I eat chicken and I eat fish and
occasional beef.
Occasional?
Yeah.
And
but you do,
and I do, and so I'm acknowledging.
I hate seeing those images, and for me, I would not personally go out and hunt an animal like that. But the fact that it is regulated and they are not hunting endangered animals makes a difference to me. It's not something I would choose, but
they become endangered for a reason.
But the reason it's regulated is that if there were animals that were starting to become endangered before they were endangered, then they stopped the hunting.
So you kill until they're endangered. I'm just not buying that. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And again, it's for sport.
What's up, guys? It is Jamie in upstate New York. And yes, he's saying that he might be donating it to the locals, but then why are you taking this big Instagram shot? This seems like it's more about clout and aura farming, and it sounds like it backfired. Everyone's getting an ick. Nothing about this is ethical. Sure, it's technically legal, but it's one big ick. It's 2025. We're not cavemen.
Well, but people are divided on this. If you look at social media, they're really divided on it. So, okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, it is not going away. President Trump this morning standing behind his attorney general on the Epstein files and how she has handled it, how the administration has handled it. There are new people calling for the release of everything. Will the administration do that? And if they don't, why aren't they? We're going to get into that with our good buddy D.L. Hughley when we come back. Welcome back to TMZ Live. President Trump is having to staunchly defend his attorney general from the continued attacks, I think very notably, continued attacks from his own supporters, from the MAGA base, attacks on Pam Bondi for not releasing what they believe to be a list of people in Jeffrey Epstein's world, the Epstein list. From the files. And you know that last week the Department of Justice said there is no list and there was no murder of him. He committed suicide in prison.
I have some info.
And that's it.
I have some info on this. But before I tell you what I've got, Donald Trump was asked this at the White House today.
Mr. President, your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency in the Epstein case. Do you agree with her, sir?
The Attorney General's handled that very well, and I think that when you look at it, you'll understand that. I would like to see that also, but I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important, and you want credible evidence for something like that.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
I have spoken with multiple people who have seen parts or all of the file. What I am told is there is no list. It's true, there is no list. But there are tons of names in these files. Jeffrey Epstein, and this is what I'm told from people who have had access to this, that Jeffrey Epstein was a braggadocious guy who loved, dropping names, and and two people separately said to me, it's almost like he was trying to blackmail them, that he would just, use their names and have them present. And it's not like he strikes
me as the kind of guy who would say, look whose phone number I have.
Exactly.
Right.
And people wrote this all the time. So I'm told Fidel Castro is listed there. There are tons of people, and almost all of them didn't do anything untoward, at least this is what I'm told, that Donald Trump's name is in there several times, but there's nothing, I'm told, that's untoward with him either.
You understand that his supporters feel that if you don't say, and I get it from a legal standpoint why you don't want to just put all those names out there, but his supporters, and that's what's weird about this, it's almost like Dr. Frankenstein, and now the monster has come back on him. Like, MAGA, he fed into these conspiracy theories and said that he was going to release these files and all that.
Well,
and
he was a little
thinking about it, yes, but he certainly fueled that during the campaign. And now it has come back to bite him in the ass.
Absolutely.
The monster is coming back.
Okay, so let's get into
So what does he do? What should the administration do here? What's the right move? What's the move that's going to quell all the cries for this thing? Joining us right now, is there such a move? Our good friend DL Hughley. DL, how you doing, man?
I'm wonderful, man. You know what's so interesting? Even the stuff that we know did happen or was alleged to have happened is disturbing. His affinity and his relationship with a known pedophile is troublesome. The fact that a 14-year-old girl accused him and Epstein of doing something inappropriate with her. So even the stuff we know, the stuff that he's openly said, the stuff that's on the record, should have been disqualifying to me. So it shouldn't even, and there's no doubt that if he believed that it was something that was in there would hurt his political enemies. First off, Pam Bondi's not calling the shots. You know that. He's going to do it.
Yeah, right. But DL, I got to tell you, and again, no dog in the fight. I've talked to, there are two people in particular who are not even associated, and they have had access to this, and they say that, Trump's name is mentioned, but there is nothing untoward with respect to Trump and many, many other names, people you know, people you've heard of, and it's the same deal. So I'm trying to figure out what's the motivation here.
Okay, Michael Wolff says that he's seen the pictures with Trump in them. Michael Wolff says that, right? So you have all these people on the periphery. But the truth of the matter is, does this seem like the kind of thing he wouldn't do? Even the things he said have been disturbing. His like for young girls, he said these things. So let's be clear. Does Donald Trump seem like the kind of man who wouldn't do it? And
I'm just telling you.
Anybody who's being honest would say that that's not true.
One of the people I can tell you is not a Trump supporter, and I'm getting this consistently. Yeah, his name's mentioned, but so are a million others, and it's mentioned a few times, but there's nothing untoward.
You know what's so disturbing about this for me? President Obama was accused of not having real birth certificate. He had to show it.
That was the first conspiracy theory that Donald Trump
he had to show it. The other thing that's very interesting is when Barack Obama was in close proximity to Jeremiah Wright, he had to come out and disavow it. So the standard needs to be clear. Even being in proximity to somebody who's that troublesome, to me, is worth looking into.
If they release everything, and there are a bunch of names in there, right? And let's assume, just for argument's sake, 60% of the people, 70% of them, didn't do anything wrong. Now their names are attached to it. In fact, this morning, Kevin Spacey was saying, release all of it because he wants his name cleared. His name was mentioned in a civil suit against Jeffrey Epstein.
I was told about a huge, I know this, there's a huge rock star mentioned, and it was just, again, name mentioned.
So then all those people,
Fidel Castro,
all those people suddenly get painted with this brush when it could just be that Epstein had their number.
Do you think that that is Trump's? Let me just honest question. Do you think that that would be Trump's concern? Do you think that he's the kind of man that's inconsistent?
I would think it should be.
What we know him to be.
I would think it should be the Attorney General's concern. I don't know if it's Trump's, but it should be the Attorney General's concern.
But here's the thing. He doesn't run the Attorney General like that. He is clearly running. In other administrations, they've been separating apart. He is clearly in charge. He's calling the shots at the Department of Justice. Do you think that Donald Trump, the man, if he had evidence that would hurt political opponents or somebody he didn't like, he wouldn't use it? He would.
Well,
here's
the thing. Here's what, look, I'll tell you what I think. That there are tons of people, Democrats, Republicans, business people, rock stars, actors, all of whom associated with Jeffrey Epstein. And that there are probably friends and enemies of Donald Trump on that list. And most of them, there's nothing untoward. So
I think it's really difficult for me to believe. Look, I got a lot of friends. If I knew one was a pedophile, I would never hang out with him. That's just the truth. And I think also the standard now that we have, it used to be a time if you associate with a racist or a rapist, you wouldn't be. Now we live in this alternate universe. Just being in close proximity, just having a dalliance, a relationship with a guy like that is troublesome.
So let me ask you a question. There were a lot of people who knew Diddy was problematic, but they still went to his white parties. What's the difference?
I think that one is a white party is adults having it's adults. The other one is where they were specifically doing an illegal act. They were grooming kids. And the other thing that's particularly disturbing is how much Republicans have talked about wanting to protect kids. The list should be outed just to show that he didn't have anything to do with it and that nobody else had anything to do with it. Y'all brought this list up. It was them that used this as a cudgel. It was them that used this as an issue. And now all of a sudden they're voting against people seeing it.
I know what you're saying, DL. And what's interesting here is, and I agree with you that if he had something that would hurt his political enemies, he'd release it. But the problem is, if he wanted to do that, he may also end up, if you release all of it, yeah, you might take out some of your political enemies, but you also are going to take out some people that that aren't enemies.
At a standard, we should have a low enough standard. If you are in close proximity, hanging around with pedophiles, that is problematic, and we need to know about it. Because why all of a sudden is the fire gone out for them to know? Because they think it could damage somebody that they care about or somebody they're interested in. That's it. But we should be interested in protecting our children.
Yeah.
But we're not. We're not. And every week, do you honestly believe, and this is an honest question, he seems like the kind of man that would do it. He seems like that amoral kind of man.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just telling you, I haven't seen it, but I've heard from separate people.
Any man that will walk into a teenage beauty pageant so stop.
Okay, I said my piece. Thank you, DL.
Hey, make sure you can catch the DL Hughley Show weekdays, 3 to 7 p.m. DL, always fun talking to you, man.
We'll see you next week.
All right, man, for sure. Peace.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, we are going to take a break.
When we come back, tragedy strikes the American Idol family. A double homicide here in the LA area. We will tell you who is the victim here, a longtime part of the American Idol family. A shocking discovery by LAPD as they found out on Monday. We just broke the story today, but on Monday, they went to the home of a woman named Robin Kay. Robin Kay, if you've watched American Idol for years, you've probably seen her name in the credits, but she was the music supervisor. So she worked with...
She cleared a lot of the music on the show,
for it.
Worked with all the coaches, was really a big part of American Idol for many, many years.
Unfortunately, Robin and her husband are the victims of what police believe is a double homicide. They were found inside their home in Encino. There's some suspicious things that have been happening around their house, and police have actually were called out to their house first last week. Still unclear at this moment,
which is really weird,
when they were murdered.
We're told they were, Devin, are you there? They were called Thursday, right?
Right. So they were called Thursday because a neighbor thought they saw someone jump over their fence, and they were possibly armed. That's what they were told.
The person who jumped over the fence.
Exactly. So they showed up on Thursday. What we're told is that they did go out to the house. There was no sign of forced entry. They checked the property and ultimately left. What we don't know is if they got in contact with either of the people that were living at the home. So as of now, obviously, it's pretty new in the investigation. They don't know if there's any connection of what happened Thursday as them ultimately being killed, or if it happened after that.
But they went back out on Monday because one of the neighbors said they hadn't seen them in 4 days.
So
right?
it was for a welfare check. We don't know if it was from a neighbor or a family member, but it was a welfare check because they hadn't been heard from in a few days. So I mean that timeline kind of adds up to me.
It really does. That on Thursday, somebody says we may have seen an armed person on their property. Police don't see anything, and then.
But who knows what's happening inside? And we're still trying to get some details about what exactly, when police went there on Thursday, whether they
if they had contact with them, if they knocked on the door, didn't hear or whatever. But a neighbor,
that is a suspicious situation.
Very suspicious. And a neighbor also was saying that I guess they in this like LA in general, they have a lot of issues with burglaries. So I don't know if this was just a random burglary. We have no idea.
When they came out Monday, did they open the door?
Yeah, well, they went for a welfare check.
They went for the welfare check. There was blood, I guess, by the doorway, and then there was a smashed, I think it was a glass window or a door.
So they found them yesterday.
So they found the forced entry on Monday, and that's when they go in the house and unfortunately find them both dead by gunshot wounds.
Robin had been at American Idol for the last 15 seasons, so she's been there for a lot.
I talked to a couple of people who worked on Idol, and they are really shaken.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Esmeralda in Green Bay, and what such sad news. Like, I can't imagine what the families are going through. I really hope the police do get to the bottom of this, because what are the chances? Called on Thursday, but, then the neighbors are worried, or whoever, welfare checked by Monday. Like, my heart goes out to the families. My prayers go out to the families. This is really, really sad.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Okay, we're going to take a break.
All right, when we come back, some good news and some not so good news for Kendrick Lamar. Emmy nominations for that Super Bowl halftime show. That's great, but also Rock Nation now getting dragged into Drake's lawsuit over that very Super Bowl halftime show and the song, of course, we all know that Kendrick performed.
Buckle up, party people, because the TMZ After Dark Tour has hit Hollywood! Get ready for a 2-hour rager on wheels with the DJ dropping beats as we hit Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard, baby! We see the hottest restaurants, sickest clubs, and stop at banging bars along the way. The festivities kick off every weekend from the Hard Rock Cafe at 7:30 p.m. So head to TMZTour.com to book your tickets for the TMZ After Dark Tour! It's gonna be epic!
So the Super Bowl halftime show with Kendrick Lamar that was talked about so much leading up to it and then talked about it after for good and bad reasons. Some people didn't get it. A lot of people thought it was tremendous.
Guess who got it? The Emmy nominating committee.
The Emmy committee really got it because it was nominated for 4 different Emmys. Today, Emmy nominations came out, and they really loved, clearly, the performance enough to nominate it 4 times in several different categories, including choreography, live performance, and a couple of others. But a big day for Kendrick Lamar.
Patrick Schwarzenegger didn't get nominated.
Patrick Schwarzenegger, did not get nominated. By the way, Beyonce also nominated for her halftime performance for that Netflix show, NFL game, on Christmas Day, was it?
They're nominating a lot of sports kind of.
Those are if you're looking for live performances, live shows, it's usually going to be around sports these days.
So there's a development in the Drake lawsuit not against Kendrick, about everybody else around Kendrick but Kendrick.
As we've told you, he is suing Universal Music Group, his label, but also Kendrick's label, because he won for defamation because of the song Not Like Us, where Kendrick refers to him as a pedophile. And also, he believes that Universal colluded with several different people to make this song a huge hit and to besmirch Drake's name.
And he is with Universal.
Right. So
awkward to
now,
sue your... Anyway.
Yes, but now he is taking aim at another huge entity in entertainment, and that would be Jay-Z's company.
Rock Nation.
Yeah.
He wants him to be a witness in
the Universal Music Group.
In the Universal Music lawsuit, which means theoretically, he may call Jay-Z for a deposition.
Wow.
I know.
Can you
that
imagine?
Would be crazy. That's a rap.
Yeah.
For you,
by the way,
folks.
we should say part of what Drake is alleged here is that Rock Nation and Universal Music Group colluded to get Kendrick to perform the Super Bowl halftime show, and therefore have it on this massive stage where he, and by the way, during the performance, and this may make a difference in court, he did not say the word. Remember, he
did not say the word.
He didn't say pedophile. So
the crowd did.
yeah, the crowd did.
What else you guys want to talk about?
Hello, this is Melanie in LA talking about Diddy. And my thought is, while it's hard not to question Diddy's motivation for going into treatment, the reality is, based on what came out during trial, this isn't the worst thing in the world, because even if half of what came out is true, treatment is a good thing for him. The thing is, if it will matter for sentencing, that feels like a different question. And my thought is, regarding the prosecutors recommending 4-year sentence, there seems like other factors that will affect that more than him going to treatment.
Yeah, but again, I don't think it's going to be 4. I do not. One more.
Calling in Newark, Delaware, talking about Beyonce. It's hard not to think that the Beyonce situation isn't an inside job. Beyonce unreleased music, private shows, footage, tours, plans just end up in a stolen vehicle. That doesn't make sense to me. It sounds like it's targeted, and like I said, it sounds like an inside job to me.
See, I don't think so. I think somebody just broke into a car and said, I can steal a computer and make some money.
Never know. She's been in town for several days, so someone were sort of following her team.
We will see.
Yeah.
Okay, taking a break.
When we come back, Reese Witherspoon has definitely found new love, and they are all over each other in the French Riviera. We got the photos when we come back. Reese Witherspoon, she's not just an American. We always know. Every time I say her name, that's what I remember now. She's American. But she is living like a teenager in love, because she is over in Saint-Tropez with her boyfriend, a guy named Oliver Harmon.
We did not know they were together, but they've been together for like a year.
Yes, that's what I was reading, and man, they're definitely in the honeymoon
over
stage.
Each other.
I mean, we can't show you all of the photos, but
we can't afford them.
We can't afford them, but you can see them on the website, and there's more than one, more than two, more than 3 makeout photos. So
yeah, they are.
They're having a day.
You're right about teenagers. She literally is legally blonde. She really is.
They were having a day over there.
Okay.
Good for them.
We will see you tomorrow.